Hello. We're back. I'm actually early today. This is probably the first stream in ever that I've ever been early. So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Hope we're all doing okay. As always, I'm gonna go and promote the stream before we do get started. And yeah, we will then hopefully get started on this. This is obviously not Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man sort of related. Spider-Man, obviously, MCU Spider-Man 4. We'll talk about that in a few short moments whenever we get around to it. But obviously, yeah, I'm really excited. Sorry I didn't stream yesterday. I know I said last week that I'm basically going to stream every Tuesday. Didn't happen. I know. I'm so sorry. But starting January, Tuesday is my day. Tuesday is my day. So that's that, yeah. Wednesday night tonight, obviously. Because I didn't have any other night to do this tonight. Because it's getting towards Christmas. Things get busy. Monkey Vision. What is that behind you? That is Kimi Räikkönen. His name's Kimi Räikkönen. Okay? That sounds really random. But I'm starting a podcast. About F1. More details on that soon. Obviously, only if you like F1. Check it out. But, like, it's a project I'm working on at the moment. Me and my good friend are working on it. But yeah, hopefully you all get in here. Hopefully you're all hyped. We're gonna get started in a second. Just gonna promote the stream. You guys promote the stream, that'd be awesome as well. But yeah, we're gonna get started, and we're gonna start ranking these MCU projects. First up, we have What If Season 2 on the agenda. I'm just like switching to all my accounts. That sounds bad, doesn't it? I only have 3 accounts. I have more than that, but like I only have 3 that I post on. That also sounds bad. No. Right, is that. There's that stream. Yep, there we go. Share that. There we go. Okay. There we go. Streaming. There we go. So this was actually suggested by Ravenous Puncher, who's a member of the channel. Gary the Neutral, Discord server member here. And wait a minute, this isn't Spectacular Spider-Man character rankings like it said in the server, but lol, this will be interesting. It said that in the Discord? I don't know why I don't think it's updated, because I think we ranked Spectacular Spider-Man characters last time. So I don't think it's updated on the Discord. So I do apologize for that, but we are going to be doing Romantic Avocado. How you doing? Whoa, view botting. I view bot all the time, mate. I probably shouldn't say that on here. Susan, I don't view bot. Pokewolf says, "Oh, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, just like you when I was a kid." That's cool. Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's really cool. All good, says Gary the Neutral. Anyway, let's get into this. So, What If Season 2? For those of you in here now, obviously I've just promoted it round, so we're waiting for people to get in here from other channels. Where do we put What If Season 2? What are we saying? So obviously we're going to be ranking all of the upcoming Marvel projects here by anticipation. So these are MCU, non-MCU. So obviously we've got Freshman Year in there. We've obviously got, Spider-Man 4, Shang-Chi 2. We've got all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be ranking it all by anticipation. Where are you excited for it? Most anticipated, obviously being the top, the least being F. So, Pokeball says, they like the MCU. Me too. What If Season 2? What are you excited for What If Season 2? Where would you rank this in this list? What If Season 2? Is it S? Are you really excited for it? Or F? Are you least excited for it? I want to know. I want to know your guys' thoughts first. B? B, mildly anticipated. I'd probably agree with that. In fact, C, yeah, I'd actually probably put it... Actually, you know what? I'd probably put it at neutral. I'm not really that big on What If Season 2. What If Season 1 was alright. But I think I'm more interested in the spin-off shows for What If Season 1. So, Freshman Year and Marvel Zombies, which are obviously like What If style shows in themselves. So I'm more interested in them than I am the actual What If Season 2. But I'm also interested, though, what if, ironically, they can make more spin-off shows like animated stuff based off episodes that do well in this season. And that's what happened last season. So obviously everyone loved Spider-Man. Everyone loved the zombies episode. So they did the Spider-Man show, and now they're doing a zombies episode. So it makes sense. But see, I subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. See, honestly, a few episodes sound cool, but a majority of episodes are questionable. Yeah, there's like one, like, isn't there one, like, what if Happy Hogan saves Christmas or something? Yeah, it'll be interesting how much of this stuff is hot garbage or just gets cancelled at this point. It's a tragedy, says Romantic Avocado. What are your thoughts on this state of Marvel DC Comics? In my experience, everyone I talk to has negative opinions on it, not a positive one. Is there any way to turn it around? That's a very, very good question. Slightly unrelated, but I think I'll answer it because I always love answering these type of questions and talking about this with you guys. Marvel DC Comics. DC, I'm not too versed on at the moment. I've read a few DC comics. I've read a lot of the Flash comics when Rebirth was happening. But apart from that, I haven't really read a lot of recent DC comics. Marvel comics, however, I've read pretty much all of the recent Spider-Man stuff, and I can tell you it is hot garbage. It really is. It's really bad. The issue is, it all stems back to one issue, is they don't let the character evolve. They don't let the character grow up. They rehash the same stories. They rehash same things with different characters. Same characters. Sorry. So, like for example, the new Norman Osborn story in the Amazing Spider-Man. Essentially, Norman Osborn is a good guy, but the issue with that is it would be an interesting story if one, Norman Osborn didn't kill Gwen Stacy, and number two, if they did something different with different characters, like they made Norman Osborn good just to keep him around in the books, just because he's a familiar character. And I get that, but at the same time, I don't. Do different stuff, right? Either way. Let's move on. Echo. Okay, so after that trailer, okay, so I'll just be honest here. Before that trailer, Echo was like, nah, right? I wasn't really too interested in her off the back of Hawkeye. I didn't really care about her character too much. The only interesting thing about her for me was Wilson Fisk. However, that trailer came out. And I tell you what, this show is now like up here. I don't want to put it in S, because I think S is reserved. S is reserved for those the stuff that you know is gonna slap. But for me, it's an A. I want to know why you guys put Echo. What's your opinion on Echo? For me, it's an A. That trailer was real. That trailer went hard. That trailer went really hard. It was great. Oh, by the way, I got to show you this. I'm wearing a Spider-Man Christmas jumper. Sorry, I wore it because I was streaming and I totally forgot. Same. Yeah, no, the trailer was gas. But the thing is about the show is that it's going to tie heavily into Daredevil and stuff like that. Isn't it, considering the Echo releasing all at once instead of a week to week? Yeah, it's releasing all at once, so it's doing something more similar to what Netflix do, where they're releasing it all at once instead of week to week, which means that we'll be able to watch the whole show in one day. B, says Emmanuel, yeah, Echo has potential. It's got a lot of potential. Now, Deadpool 3. This is straight into S. Deadpool 3 is an S anyway, but the fact that it's now in the MCU, they're bringing in Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, they're doing some other stuff, they're doing a multiverse, this seems like, okay, here's the thing, the multiverse, bit overdone, I'm getting a bit tired of it, getting a bit bored of it, but if there's one character that I'd like to explore the multiverse with, it's definitely Deadpool, because he can do some funny stuff, and it would work, it just would. Easy S, yeah, easy S, yeah. No questions for Deadpool 3. Exactly, yeah. Easy S. It goes straight in there. Agatha Darkhold Diaries. Now, they're doing this thing with Agatha where they're, like, changing the show's name, like, all the time because they think it's, like, a way of representing her kind of, what do you call it? Her randomness, I guess you could say. Pokewolf says, I'm making my own Marvel show. It's called The Scarlet Spider. Third anime series, What If, Scarlet Spider, human based on the X-Men. That's cool. That seems cool. Yeah, it's like, I would put it in F, because I'm really not interested. But I really liked WandaVision, so like, there's some hope for me, but it's not like I'm not that excited. Spider-Man freshman year. Now, freshman year, it's not even called freshman year anymore. It's called Spider-Man. It's called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But yeah, this goes straight into most anticipated. Over Deadpool 3. It's Spider-Man. That's why. I don't have to explain myself. We're a Spider-Man channel, right? Come on. I mean, Spider-Man freshman year. I'm just going to call it freshman year because Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, saying that every single time is going to be a nightmare. So I'm just going to call it freshman year. Freshman year, brilliant show. Well, I don't know. Might be a brilliant show. I think it will be. Just based off what we've seen. I really love the concept of it being in the MCU, but also kind of taking a different direction with the character. Freshman year looks very promising. Yeah, exactly. I'm imposed against those people that are still annoyed that it's not in the MCU. I get why you're annoyed that it's not in the MCU, but when you look back on reflection, it not being in the MCU gives it greater potential because you're then like you're going into the show knowing that the events of the MCU aren't coming up. And because you're going into the show not knowing what's going to happen, surely that makes it more exciting. And also, we now know that Norman Osborn and all these other characters can show up, that obviously, if it was in the MCU, they couldn't show up. I think that's really cool. So, yeah. Marvel Zombies. Okay, now this one is an A for me. I'm really excited. The What If episodes, my favorite What If episode of season 1 was the Zombies episode. So, Marvel Zombies, I'm really excited for this. Daniel says, is freshman year supposed to be set in adjacent universe given the many differences? Yeah, so basically, it's in the MCU, but it's not. It's basically a what-if timeline. The way that we understand it at this moment in time, until more gets revealed, a trailer comes out, more details, the way we understand it is that Spider-Man Freshman Year is essentially a show that is in the MCU, but the what-if event is that Norman Osborn approaches Spider-Man instead of Tony Stark. And it's basically a what-if show, but it's just a whole show of that one what-if scenario. That's the way that we understand it. So it is the MCU, but it's not at the same time. Zombie is rated R. Do you think that after Secret Wars, they'll combine the MCU Spider-Man and Freshman Year? This was a theory, actually. I can't remember who came up with this theory, but I seen it a long time ago. The theory was that after Secret Wars, when they do their soft reboot or reboot completely, whatever they're going to do, either way, there's going to be some sort of reboot after Secret Wars. The theory is that when they do the reboot, they were going to combine the Freshman Year universe with the MCU. And basically, the Freshman Year timeline would then become the new canon to the new MCU Spider-Man stories. So basically, So MCU Spider-Man 4 would come before Secret Wars, but then MCU Spider-Man 5, which would come after Secret Wars, would basically be a sequel to all of the Freshman Year stories, basically. Really confusing. Definitely won't happen because of audience conflicts, the mainstream being the movies and not everyone watching the shows. The shows are too niche for this to happen. It's a cool theory, but the shows are way too niche for this to happen. It won't happen. They won't alienate an audience like that. I can guarantee you that right now. But it is a cool theory. I know, and if it were to happen, I'd like it. But sorry, I'm late, guys. Says Eddie, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're not that far in. Daredevil. Now I'm gonna break something to you. I've only watched a part of Daredevil season 1. I haven't seen the whole thing. Yeah, I know. Confession, right? However, from what I have seen of Daredevil from the Netflix show, it was really good. And also, I just never got around to watching it. I actually watched more Jessica Jones than I did Daredevil. And I love Jessica Jones. So, Daredevil, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for most of the street level stuff. This goes in at A, I'd say, for me. I really like Daredevil as a character anyway. I actually started reading some of his comics not too long ago. I don't tend to read a lot of comics from other Marvel characters, but I read a bit of Daredevil. And it is really good. So I am actually excited for the show. He got bit by a radioactive supernatural mutant spider. That is the origins of the Scarlet Spider. That's pretty cool. Captain America Brave New World. Now, Ravenous Puncher, if he was in the stream, would crucify me for this. He's a member who suggested this idea to stream this. He's really excited for this movie, by the way. Me? Nah. It's like here. In fact, it's like here. I'm really not excited for it. Just the issue, I was never excited for it in the first place. I was never excited for it in the first place. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a really, really good idea. But I think it should have been a movie. Like, realistically, it should have been a movie. And then they should have ended it there. And then I think Sam Wilson should go on to be leader of the Avengers or something else like that. I'm not big on Captain America. I don't read the comics, so obviously I don't know enough about what they could be doing here. We know Thunderbolt Ross is into it, and it's going to lead somewhat into Thunderbolt. But apart from that, I'm not really in the know of what's going to happen in this movie. But from where we left the characters in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I don't need any more. I think we got the conclusion to Bucky's story. We got the resolution to, obviously, Steve handing the shield to Sam. We got the resolution to that story. And now I think Sam should just go on. I think Sam's next story should be to go and lead the Avengers. I don't want another Captain America movie. I don't think it's necessary. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier should have been a movie. Shouldn't have been a show. I think they could have cut it to be a movie, and it would have been a great movie. But I don't think we need another Cap movie. Yeah, Captain America 4 doesn't sound that much interesting. And not only that, we've had obviously we've had a lot of setbacks with Cap 4. We've had leaks and rumors coming out saying that they're doing the film is terrible, and we know that they're doing reshoots at the moment as well. So God knows what this movie's going to be. Yeah. What is the Madam Web movie exactly? The trailer doesn't sell it to me. I know the character, but do I really need to know her origin? So the Madam Web movie, real quick, I'll just explain. The Madam Web isn't in this list, but I'll explain Madam Web really, really quickly. Madam Web is a movie that I think is very much going to connect it's going to connect the Spider-Man movies together. I think it's going to deal with the multiverse, and it's going to deal with a lot of stuff regarding time travel, and it's going to be a big movie for Sony. And I think that's why I'm so interested in it, is because I think it's going to tie a lot of the Sony stuff together, which hopefully all makes it make sense. But it's basically just a movie about a woman with powers. She can see into the future, and yeah. The big pull for the movie is that it hopefully makes a lot of the Sony stuff make sense. That's all you've got to know. Yeah, Daredevil sounds promising given how good the Netflix show was. I mostly read Spider-Man, but I also read Daredevil and Fantastic Four sometimes. Says Romantic Avocado. Yeah, Captain America 4, we did that one by Gary. Next F4, if be prepared, big villain setup. Yeah, there's probably Beyonder could be involved, says Eddie. That could be interesting. It could also, yeah, no, he could. Oh, in Madam Web. Well, no, the Beyonder's a Marvel Studios character, so I don't think he will be. Yeah, no, in terms of F4, which we're going to talk about now, F4 for me is definitely an anticipated. Now, once again, F4, the Fantastic Four are characters I'm not all too familiar with. However, I have read Fantastic Four Season 1, the comic book, because I really enjoyed Spider-Man Season 1. That I went to read the Fantastic Four one, because I heard that one was good as well. So I went to read Fantastic Four Season 1, kind of understood their origin, understood the characters a little bit better, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't know why I haven't read more F4 books. I probably should. If anyone can recommend any, then I'll read them. But it was really good. And obviously the movies weren't great from Fox back in the day. So for me, someone who isn't really too versed on the F4 apart from their basic origin, I've only read a few comics. This movie hopefully is going to be good and hopefully introduce a new love for these characters for me. Because when I saw the movies, obviously in the early 2000s where I grew up, obviously you had the Spider-Man movies, you had the X-Men movies, you had the Fantastic Four movies, and the MCU wasn't really starting up until the late 2000s, early 2010s. So for me, I grew up and I watched Spider-Man, I watched F4, and I watched I never actually watched the X-Men movies. I watched X-Men 1 only a few years ago, actually. But from those movies, Spider-Man captivated me. F4 didn't. They were bad movies. I watched them when I was very, very young. I haven't seen them since. But hopefully this movie pulls me back in and that's why I'm excited for it, because I know people rave about the F4 as characters from the comics, saying that they're some of the best comic characters of all time. And I'm family team up, exactly. So that's exactly why. Can I be your best friend? I have no friends. Oh no, Pokeball, you're always a friend. You're always a friend. We're all friends here. We're all friends. Everyone in the chat, we're all friends. Thunderbolts, yeah, Thunderbolts leaves a really bad feeling in my tummy. I don't know what it is, but for me, Thunderbolts is E. I don't know about you guys. I want to know your thoughts as well. But Thunderbolts is an easy E for me, only because I think, once again, it's got the Captain America effect. It's got a bunch of characters teaming up that I don't really care about. The only character that I really care about in there is Bucky. But Bucky's story was resolved. It came to an ending, and I don't really need to see any more of him. It's cool that he's there, but I don't need to see any more of Bucky. Yelena, and then, what's his name? The red, Black Widow's dad. Oh, what's his name? The Russian guy. I don't really care about those characters. John Walker, not really interested. Thought he was poor in. He was one of the weaker parts of. Could have been handled better in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, let's go. My friend list just tripled. Boy, says Romantic Avocado. Hello. Just a bunch of super soldiers in a Suicide Squad. So uninteresting. Yeah, if you want a Suicide Squad, just go watch Suicide Squad. That was a good movie. And this will be a very formulaic, very safe MCU movie when you could be watching a James Gunn movie. That's all I'm going to say. Knock off Superman, says Eddie. Do you think Ultimate Spider-Man is a cop-out so they can never bring back the Peter and MJ relationship in the 616 universe? Says Emmanuel. In terms of that comic book, I'm not really bothered. I'm not really bothered, to be honest with you. Even if it is a cop-out, then let it be a cop-out, because at least we get what we want. And it will show, because the majority of fans will start reading and will start buying Ultimate Spider-Man over the 616 universe, and then they'll realize. I think either way we win. Either way we win. Whether this makes them realize that we need MJ and Peter together in the 616 universe, or whether the sales drop enough to the point where Ultimate Spider-Man shows them that, MJ and Peter need to be together, whatever it may be, I don't care if it's a cop-out. We get it anyway. Ironheart, once again, yeah. No, I'm going to put it in air. It's not exactly a nar, but for me, I liked her character in Wakanda Forever. I thought she was fun. I think there was potential there. It's just that, once again, I don't know too much about the character to be able to what's the word? To be able to understand. That's the word. Definitely yes, says Gary the Neutral. Why an Iron Man fan knew a character? Well, this is the thing. So obviously Marvel's entering a phase now where they're doing legacy characters, and Ironheart is one of those characters. But yeah, it's just we'll have to see. We'll have to see when it comes out. Blade, I'm mildly anticipated. Blade, obviously, I think will be interesting because it's going to explore a side of the MCU that we really haven't seen before. And I'm really interested. I think it's something fresh. And whenever the MCU does something new, it always gets me more excited. So, like Echo, Marvel Zombies, for example. Even Spider-Man Freshman Year, an animated Spider-Man show specifically from Marvel Studios. That really excites me. It's something different, something we haven't seen before. I think that's what excites me about Blade. The only reference I have to go off from Blade is the early 2000s movies. But apart from that, Blade, something different. I'm excited. I'm interested. Blade should be R-rated. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I am interested. Yeah. You think those Agatha name changes are intentional? Well, they say they're intentional, don't they? I mean, we were talking about this earlier when we ranked Agatha. I don't know. Avengers Kang Dynasty, which isn't actually Avengers Kang Dynasty anymore. It's Avengers 5. For me, it's going to have to go in air. I think this is going to be... an absolute... It's going to be an absolute I don't want to swear, but it's going to be an absolute disaster. Because just from everything that's happened with Jonathan Majors in the last few days, he's been fired. They're not doing Kang anymore, but it's still going to be Avengers 5. Whether they change whether they still do Kang, there's two ways this goes, right? If they still do Kang, if they recast Jonathan Majors, I think it could probably go higher. I still don't have high hopes for it because I think there's going to be way too many characters they're going to try and stuff into this thing. I think it's going to suffer heavily from that. But, with everything that's happening, if they decide to scrap Kang... Because the fact that they've renamed it, the fact that it's not Kang Dynasty anymore, tells me that they're going to try and write Kang out of the MCU. That's what worries me. They have time. I don't know. It's far too late for a new Avengers film. They didn't write off Endgame. Older new characters fights. One of them dies. New universe born. Too many reshoots on Blade, says Eddie. And the same goes for Avengers Secret Wars. I'm indifferent to it. I think I'm neutral. I'm interested, but I'm not overly excited because I think Secret Wars is. I'm so worried because every MCU project that comes out nowadays all suffer from the same thing. They're formulaic. There's unnecessary jokes. The stakes aren't taken seriously. The characters aren't as strong as they used to be. It's just becoming boring. And I feel as if they're going to try and appeal to the masses with Avengers Secret Wars. I feel like there's going to be cameos everywhere. We're going to have Toby and Andrew Spider-Man come through. We're going to have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to see that. I've been on the record many times saying I'd love Toby and Andrew to come back again. I would. Only for the right reason, though. And I feel like if they show up in Secret Wars, it'll be a glorified cameo. I might sound greedy for saying this, but if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are to come back to be Spider-Man again, they need to have a character arc. They need to have a purpose within the story. They don't just need to show up because it's Secret Wars, right? I don't like that. I don't want that, right? Don't bring these characters in just because you can. Do it because there is a purpose. Every single character in Avengers Infinity War, despite how many there were, all had a purpose. Same with Avengers Endgame. Obviously, we had the portal scene, but that was a purpose. Every character came back, and every character coming back was a representation of the success of the 6 core Avengers. So, yeah. The only interesting thing about Secret Wars is having the characters from the 2000s Avengers films and the Andrew films, but it could suffer greatly from poor writing. Yeah, it could suffer greatly. Exactly, it could. I don't think the new Avengers movies will be as hype as Infinity War or Endgame, says Daniel. A trash Avengers movie could be for the better. We could have MCU, other people, we reboot the MCU in the end. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if it ends up being bad and then they learn from the mistakes, do you think that Spider-Man will still be the lead of Avengers 5? I don't know. And that worries me. I don't want Spider-Man to be the lead of an Avengers movie. I don't think it works. Armor Wars. Now, this is like a loose sequel to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I guess. I'm not really bothered. I'm not really bothered by it. It's meant to tie in slightly to Secret Invasion as well, right? Or something. I'm not really bothered. It was meant to be a series, and now it's a movie. Nah, not for me. Not for me. Not a real movie version with enough jokes. Shang-Chi 2? Yeah, I'm excited. The first Shang-Chi was really, really good. So I'm gonna end up watching this. The first one was amazing. If they can replicate what they did with Shang-Chi number 1 and Shang-Chi 2, then I am gassed. I am gassed. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm gassed. Right. Let's talk about... What's that? I see another Spider-Man thing down there. What is that? What is that? We'll have to get to that. Oh, is that sophomore year? Oh, right. Well, I guess that's a cop-out then, isn't it? Shang-Chi will definitely be good, says Gary. So, MCU Spider-Man 4. Here is the big one. What are we saying about MCU Spider-Man 4? Yeah, MCU Spider-Man 4. Shang-Chi will definitely be good. We've done that one from Gary. Old classic martial arts is back. I can't wait to see Shang-Chi 2. Just please no CGI monster at the end. Yeah, that was probably the only thing that let it down, right? It really could be a trash movie, says Ethan. No, it won't be a trash movie. It won't be trash. It won't be trash. I know a few of these movies that will be trash. Shang-Chi definitely is not one of them. Spider-Man 4 though. I mean, MCU Spider-Man 4, it goes straight to the top. Straight to the top, most anticipated. I'm so excited. The potential is there. Ladies and gentlemen, the potential is there. I'm really excited. S or A, says Tillman. Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. It's an S. The first Shang-Chi was surprisingly really good, and it really shows what the MCU should have done with their projects. Grounded stories. Yeah, exactly. Not the characters involved give Spider-Man justice, says Eddie. Yeah, well, this is it. So Spider-Man 4, I think, coming off the back of No Way Home, there's a big potential to go forward with this character where we potentially haven't been since the Andrew Garfield movies. You know, a very Peter Parker focused Spider-Man story. And not to say that No Way Home wasn't Peter Parker focused, because it was. But I mean, like, the larger MCU doesn't really play into things, and it always will. But hopefully, it can take a step back from that. Hopefully, they can ground it a little bit more. And I'll be very, very excited. The Okoye series, I'm kind of neutral on it. I really liked Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever was one of my favorite MCU movies from the past, couple of years. I know a lot of people disliked Wakanda Forever, but I really, really liked Wakanda Forever. I think Ryan Coogler did a fantastic job. Letitia Wright, I didn't think she was going to be able to play the part. I didn't think she was going to be able to step up to be the lead, but she did brilliantly. And I thought the whole cast, everything was great. Wakanda Forever, one of my favorite MCU movies the last couple of years. So Okoye, I'm neutral. I probably won't watch it as soon as it comes out. As I am a bit like that with MCU projects nowadays. There's just too many of them for me to really keep on top. I'd say everything from A and upwards is going to be everything I watch day one. Like, this is all day one for me. Daredevil's an exception if I watch the Netflix shows catch up, because this is meant to be season 4 technically. But everything from A and upwards, this is all day one. This is all day one. I'm there instantly. Well, Blade's like a maybe. Avengers, okay, Avengers are the exceptions. Avengers, of course, I'm going to go day one because they're Avengers movies, whether they're bad or good. But this, necessarily, I'm not too bothered about. Wonderman, yeah, I'm not. This got announced, right, Wonderman? I'm not really bothered. It could be good. I don't know enough about the character, nor do I really care. Vision Quest, now this, right, this is a nah for me. Once again, it's not an F, but I think because I liked WandaVision, it means that it does get some credit somewhere. Yeah. Do you want a little taste of how Spider-Man freshman year looked like? I can give you some titles that the studio made in the past. It's basically an anime, says the Nessa. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Not really interested at all in a Okoye one. Gotta say, I know virtually nothing about him, which is shocking. My animated series of Marvel, Pokewolf says. Yeah, so, Wonderman. Go back to Wonderman for a second. Yeah, no, I don't know anything either. Nova. Right, well, this is interesting, isn't it? I'm mildly anticipated. Nova's always been one of those characters that is really interested in me. And since, obviously, James Gunn has led the way in the Marvel space sector, we knew from that MCU book that came out that James Gunn was meant to be a Kevin Feige for the space stuff before he got fired, and then obviously he went to DC, and then obviously he's now left for good. If that was the case, this was instantly an S, because anything James Gunn related is an instant S. But still interested. I think hopefully they've got some momentum coming off the back of the Guardians movies, and hopefully it'll be good. Vision Quest should have come out right after WandaVision. Yeah, exactly. Vision Quest Vision Quest should have rode the hype of WandaVision, because I guarantee you, most people who are fans of the MCU don't even know what Vision Quest is. They have no idea. No idea. No idea. No idea. Shame considering WandaVision was good. Yeah, exactly. Gary makes a good point. WandaVision was pretty good. Wish James Gunn did Star Wars. I mean, that would be amazing, right? Imagine if James Gunn took over Star Wars. Spider-Man sophomore year. I mean, yeah, I guess we could throw this in with freshman year. No, actually, I think that's unfair. We have to put it down here. Same with What Is Season 3. Freshman year hasn't come out. If freshman year's not out, obviously we can't judge Season 2, which is sophomore year. I wonder what that'll be called now. Does anyone have any kind of hunch? Because obviously freshman year is now called Spider-Man. No, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So what is Season 2 called? Because they've greenlit Season 2. They clearly believe in it enough to They've greenlit a Season 2. So I wonder what that'll be called. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2? Your Spectacular Spider-Man? Don't know. What would you call it? What would you call it? I don't know. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2? Probably? I don't know. Which love interest would you want Peter to have in Spider-Man 4? Good question. Okay, this is going to get really complicated. I'm doing a pre-writing of Spider-Man 4 soon on LewisFiction if you haven't. By the way, if you're not subscribed to LewisFiction, go subscribe. It's my fan fiction channel. I do all my stories over there. Anyway, yes, so I'm going to... Okay, so love interest, MCU Spider-Man 4. This is what I'd do. I'd still have MJ in the movie. Michelle Jones. I'd still have Michelle Jones in the movie. But she wouldn't be a love interest. She would be in the background. The way I'd do it is I'd have Peter see her from afar. However, I'd give her the red hair. I'd make her a little bit of a party girl. Basically, ever since she's not known Peter and she's gone to college, she's kind of come out of her shell a little bit. Right? So we've got a more comic accurate version of MJ, but it makes sense given the character's ending in No Way Home. So I'd go down that route. Because obviously she doesn't know Peter anymore. She's gone off, done different things. And by the time we see her, because we are seeing this story from Peter's eyes, we see it from his perspective. Obviously then, we see MJ and we're as shocked as he is. Right? So we see MJ from afar. We'll still have MJ in the movie. Still be the same character. We're still the same internal flaws. But I would introduce, I'd introduce Black Cat. And because this movie is a movie about Spider-Man and not about Peter Parker, as the ending of No Way Home suggests, I'd have Black Cat. I'd have Peter try and be with Black Cat, because the last time he tried to be with someone as Peter Parker, obviously he ended up getting hurt, and Peter ended up losing her, MJ. And he gets reminded of that throughout the film by seeing her from afar, seeing what she is without him. And then I'd have Spider-Man try to be with someone instead. So I'd have Spider-Man have a love interest, not Peter Parker. And I'd do that twist on it. So that obviously then by the end of the movie, Peter's character arc is realizing that he shouldn't push Peter Parker away. He should focus on Peter Parker. And have that be the character arc. And then his love relationship is a representation of this. And obviously he realizes that Black Cat is no good for him, because Black Cat, obviously, as we do know from the comics, and if they adapt the character as I am intending to her in this explanation, Black Cat obviously is only interested in Spider-Man the same way that Peter would try and date her as Spider-Man, not as Peter Parker. So they'd be perfect for each other at the start. However, as the flaws and the misbeliefs and the inner fears and the guilt start to build and start to reveal themselves throughout the natural narrative of the movie, we would come to realize that they are not perfect for each other, because Peter is giving into his toxic trait of just being Spider-Man and not focusing on his own life. And then we would realize this, realize that Black Cat isn't good for him. And then obviously Peter would go on his merry way, breaking up with her. And then possibly Black Cat going on to maybe doing something else. Hopefully sticking around in the MCU, being a prominent character because I really like the character, and maybe going off to doing her own thing. But then we can slowly, now that MJ has been in the background, we slowly reintroduce MJ into the story. When you get to MCU Spider-Man 5, she then becomes the main love interest again, and we've done something different, but we've kept Zendaya on board. We've kept those two together, and they just come together slowly. And I think if they throw them back in together, it completely defeats the point of No Way Home. But if we reintroduce her slowly and bring them back together through trials and tribulations and tough character arcs, I think it would work. And I think having Zendaya and Tom Holland together again on screen, I think it'd be perfect. But I think you've got to give it time, and I think you've got to do someone like Black Cat first, or someone like Gwen Stacy first, before we go forward. That's how I'd do it. That's how I'd do it. Yeah. So, sorry, that was very, very off topic, very ranty. Will Black Cat vomit like Ultimate Spider-Man? No, I wouldn't. Well, maybe we could adapt that scene. Who knows? Symbiote is also in this universe. Yeah, you could also introduce the symbiote in that story as well, because the symbiote would work. A little different, no MJ Watson whatsoever. Oh, so no MJ Watson at all. I mean, I guess that would work. I don't know. I think we've got to be realistic, right? I think you've got to... for those of you in the chat right now who are expecting Marvel to not have MJ in MCU Spider-Man 4, I'm gonna dull your expectations here. Do not expect them not to use her, because they will. Zendaya's coming back. Whether it's a small role, I would like it to be a small role and for her to be reintroduced. Kind of how she was in Homecoming, because Homecoming, she wasn't really a big role. Kind of like how she was in the MCU originally. I'd kind of like that little progression of her being more involved throughout the trilogy. Don't expect her to not appear. She will be in the movie. Do not expect them to do something completely different. You've also got to look at it from a business sense as well. Right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, which is arguably sometimes the wrong thing to do, but also in Hollywood, right? They've just come up off the back of the two most successful Spider-Man movies of all time. Spider-Man Far From Home grossed $1 billion. Arguably, people said that's because of Endgame. Slightly, it probably was. Spider-Man No Way Home is one of the most highest grossing movies of all time. I think it's fourth in the all-time list. It's $2 billion. Was it 1.9 billion? Something like that. Just $2 billion. Come on now. And Zendaya, Tom Holland, Jacob Batalon, John Watts as director. Do not try to fix a winning formula. They're all going to come back. Zendaya's going to come back. Tom Holland's obviously going to come back. Jacob Batalon's probably going to come back. John Watts will probably come back. If he doesn't, Sony will go with someone very similar. I wouldn't expect big changes. But what you could expect is John Watts to do his best to put a spin on the movie, like I've just mentioned, potentially, because he did it. Zendaya wasn't a big of a character in Homecoming. She slowly, gradually became a bigger character throughout. They could do something like that again. But I wouldn't expect Zendaya not to come back. She's coming back. She will. Yeah, we still have the leftover of Venom and No Way Home. That would be cool to see. I ain't lying. Spider-Man No Way Home ending was great. It was, yeah. Maybe in the fourth movie a little bit, but I wouldn't have her as the main love interest. No, I wouldn't either. I do agree. I wouldn't have her as the main love interest. I'd try and give it to someone else, have her be in the background and have her kind of have a background influence over the story rather than a full frontal external influence over the narrative. I just read Lost Hunt by J. Michael, JMD. That came last year. That was real. MJ Peter. I cried a little. Yeah. The Lost Hunt. I haven't read Lost Hunt yet. Oh, have I read Lost Hunt? Hold on a minute. I've read so many Spider-Man comics this year. I don't even know. Hold on. Have I read Lost Hunt? I did. No, I didn't. I haven't read Lost Hunt. I need to read that. That's on my list. I need to read Lost Hunt. I haven't seen Lost Hunt yet. I've seen Reddit. Have you ever heard of Sophia Sandoval from the Marvel Adventures Spider-Man comic? Ron, she without doubt is the best love interest. Spider-Man's ever had. You should definitely give it a read. Oh, okay, what's that? The Marvel Adventures of Spider-Man. Let's have a look, shall we? Marvel Adventures of Spider-Man. Let's see. Which book is this? Oh, it's this one. Oh, right, okay. No, I've seen this one before. This one, it was 2005, I believe. I haven't read, but I've heard of them. This is the one... Yeah, Marvel Adventures Spider-Man. Oh, it's all on Marvel Unlimited. I've got Marvel Unlimited. Oh, Black Cat's in it. Puma. Oh, I love Puma. Puma, one of my favorite characters of all time from the Spider-Man 2 game. Venom. Venom's in it. Green Goblin. Molten Man by looks things. Doc Ock looks like he's marrying Aunt May. Wow, okay. Yeah, I'll give this a read. This looks cool. You might see a video on this in the future. So whoever suggested that, there might be a video. There might be a video coming. Yeah, no, this looks cool. Sinister Six is there. Human Torch is there. Kraven, Sandman, Electro. Kind of all your classic villains. Doctor Doom's there. Yeah. Decent. I Ain't Lying, that comic is basically for kids. So chat was played safe in here. MJ is more realistic. Oh, this is Chat? That's who Chat is? Everyone talks about Chat. Everyone talks about this Chat character. From... Is this where she's from? Sophia Chat? Chat. So this is Chat. At the beginning, it was really, really good, but when Paul Tobin took over... Is it more for kids? It's more for kids. It's more for kids, but I'll have to give it a read. I mean, comics are technically for... Well, they're not all for kids, are they? Some of them are for teens and adults, but... Yeah, anyway, that's it for... Pretty much it for the list. For the tier list of Spider-Man... Not Spider-Man. For MCU projects. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the stream. If you did, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, it's been a good one. Obviously, streaming every Tuesday. Next week is the Christmas week, so I'm not free at all next week to do a stream in the evening. But if I do find time, I will do one. I'll keep you updated. But come January 1st, there will be streams every single Tuesday. I'll be streaming every single Tuesday here on LewisFilms. And yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this stream. And video coming on Saturday as well. Also, Lewis Fiction is about to premiere a new episode of The Spectacular Spider-Man. So if you have not subscribed to Lewis Fiction, go and subscribe. It is my fan fiction channel. We post all Spider-Man stories over there. If you love Spectacular Spider-Man, we continued the series. We're on season 5 at the moment, and a new episode is just about to go out. So if you enjoy it, then go over there and go leave a like or something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys